Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. We have a short 4-day week. I wanted to start off the week strong and kind of go over some of the stocks that I'm going to be looking at for this week in advance, and also kind of what my current plays currently are going into, the week. Obviously, Friday was a little bit of a rough ride. The last hour of the day, we just kind of pretty much went straight down. And then, we have the inauguration coming up on Wednesday. Monday the market was closed, so we'll kind of see what happens. But we have a lot of catalysts coming up. I want to go over some of the plays that I'll be looking for, coming up in this week. But if you could do me a big favor, hit the like button for the YouTube algo. Helps me out a lot. And if you're your first time here, hit the subscribe button. So let's get into it here. First off, what I want to talk about is kind of some of the catalysts that we have coming up. We are coming up on earnings season, or we are going to be in the thick of earnings season real soon. Started last week with the banks. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be having Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Schwab, and then tomorrow evening, after market closes, is going to be Netflix. But what I'm more interested in is kind of the week ahead of us. 2 weeks from now, essentially, and kind of preparing mentally. Is there a play here? Is there a play in Facebook or Amazon, Apple, Tesla, AMD, Microsoft? That is kind of what I'm looking at. And for right now, I actually really like Facebook setup right now. So, full disclosure, this is how I'm going to be aligning my portfolio, not investment advice. So do whatever you want, but this is going to be how I'm going to be trading. What I really liked about Facebook is it came down. Now, news aside, doesn't really matter. I focus on the price. You could be like, oh yeah, they did this, they did that, whatever the case is. Facebook sold off, came down to the 200-day, and is bouncing off the 200-day moving average. We went down to 244, 243, bounced back up to be above the 200-day moving average, and I really thought this is very clean. So what I'm looking for is some pre-earnings runners, and I do think Facebook potentially, if we can get some movement to the upside this week, heading into next week, I think that Facebook could be explosive to, like, before earnings, 270, 275. Just try to get mid-range. I'm not asking for it to go 300 or anything. Just looking for it to kind of go back to where the mid-range is. Like, for me, I like to trade the ranges. Right now, it is broke down, and I think it's going to come back, snap back into range pre-earnings, and then it'll be kind of like a 50-50 shot for earnings, whether or not it's going to come back up. So Facebook, I think, is going to be I'm going to be long down in here. I obviously have started to scale in a little bit, but we'll see what the price action is going to be coming on Tuesday. I mean, if this comes down to 240, again, definitely want to buy. I mean, it came down to 244, 245. It didn't touch 240. If it comes down to 235, 240, I mean, definitely for me, definitely going to be getting along that. So we'll see what happens. Right now in Facebook, Amazon is another one. Now, Amazon, I think, is a little bit questionable. It's been consolidating all quarter long, just kind of been chilling. Retail sales have been down across the board. However, we know that online sales due to COVID are most likely going to be up. So the question is this run priced in or not? What I would like to be on Amazon is a premium seller, kind of like if we can get a nicer dip down sub 3,000, 30.50, be a premium seller, potentially down into the 3,000 area. Try to come as close to this. For me, I'm going to try to come as close as I can to the 200-day moving average into February expiration. If I can get some IV expansion. Now, I don't think Amazon. Let me see. Amazon, relatively low IV, I believe. Yeah, I mean, for February expiration is only 41%. So over the next week, if I can get a little bit of IV expansion, I'm going to be looking at putting a position on into Amazon. But right now, it's just kind of chilling. So what I want to do is kind of wind down premium. I'm not looking for it to move. I mean, maybe it'll move big, but right now I'm thinking that I want to sell some credit put spreads sub 3,000 if I get the opportunity. If this comes down, again, if it can come down here to the 3,000 mark, 30, 35, somewhere in that is what I'm looking at. And then last but not least, now this one's more speculative, obviously due to it being a newer stock, is SNOW. So SNOW, as you can see here, had a little bit of a rough ride. We had a little bit of a double bottom down around 270, popped up and just been kind of stabilizing. But right now, I think what's happening is that it is trying to establish a range to trade in. Obviously it has been trading as low as 230, 200, up to 429. Right now, it is kind of mid-range. You kind of have obviously we have the SNOW is kind of, I mean, how do I explain this? SNOW obviously is a speculative stock. Everyone's always going to say it's overvalued, but it's kind of, the price is really being respectful of like the 10-day, of the 50-day, and really just kind of hanging around in this area. If we look over the last, like 4 months, 3 months, it really created a bottom here around 240. And now I think it's trying to establish, in my opinion, like a bottom around 280, 290. I think it's trying to level up here. I think it tested up here. I think this was epic after earnings price action. As you can see here, it sold off before earnings because we had a nice earnings run. And then it just, they reported good numbers, and I think things just got a little out of control. I do think probably in the next quarter or so, or in the next month, it could test like the 320, 340 area and hold this area, but it really has to hold right now. It's trading in a super wide range. So, the couple opportunities for me down in here: sell premium around 280, 260, 270, or potentially get long right here around 290, 300, either buying a call into February or March expiration or putting on a debit call spread. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So another couple of things, those are the 3 stocks that I'm looking at now. Going into next week, I think is going to be interesting, obviously with the inauguration, but outside of the inauguration, I think there's one stock that everybody's talking about is GameStop. Now, GameStop, everyone as in Wall Street Bets and Reddit. Nobody else is really talking about it. But the interesting thing about GameStop that I was looking at is that this was on January 16th. This report was actually made. So 97. These were the most shorted stocks last week, and this has 97% shares are short right now. They had 6 days to cover, so what is that? Going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. So Tuesday or Wednesday, they're going to be forced to cover. And if you're forced to cover, what does that mean? That means you're going to be forced to buy back the stock. So if you have to cover, you have to buy back the stock. So which jacks the price up. So I'm looking to see here, but I'm not trading it. But I am watching with some popcorn, just kind of seeing what happens. GameStop definitely could get back up to 45, 50, even 60 range. It depends on how many shares actually have to cover at that point in time. But GameStop, Friday was a weekday. It was down 11%, but still relatively strong. It had some strong bounces. From 34 up to 38, closed at 35. After hours, it was going up a little bit. But these shares are going to be forced to cover next week, and I think GameStop could have a parabolic move. Not that it hasn't had a parabolic move already. It doubled in 2 days. It could definitely squeeze a lot more, especially if there's more buying pressure. If there's more buying pressure, shorts are going to be forced to cover. And if they're forced to cover, is going to boost the stock price up. So that is GameStop. I think is going to be a little bit crazy. Another stock that's probably going to be a little bit crazy going into next week is Tesla. Tesla had a pretty good move to the downside at the end of the day. However, it only closed down 2%. So what I'm looking at on Tesla is seeing if it's going to stabilize around this range, around 800, 810. See, as you can see, moving averages are popping back up, but it needs to come down to the 10-day or consolidate. So the consolidation is really nice. I'm also looking at ARK, which Tesla is about 9% weight in ARK. So as you can tell, ARK did take a beating. It was down 2% on Friday, got a little bit of extended. So a little bit of pullback was definitely needed. So I'm actually in the February 144 calls, but got a little hammered here at the end of the day as it broke down. It looked like it was wanting to recover, but it broke down to the 141 level. So we'll kind of see, thankfully other stocks like Square, other RK holdings are looking relatively strong, like Square down in here. I mean, it's in the buy zone where where the dips get bought down in here. So we'll see what happens with RK and some of the stocks that are in the holdings, but I am looking for RK pretty much to revisit, like, let's say the 145, 146 level. So that is what I'm looking for there. Netflix also tomorrow might be able to catch a pre-earnings run on a day trade. I'm not looking to hold Netflix through earnings or anything like that, but to get long, I mean, I don't know if it's going to gap up or not, but if it doesn't gap up, it may run, it's kind of Netflix at the bottom of the range currently for, last couple months, could push 480. Are people going to want to bail or not? We'll see. I mean, Netflix has, done very, very, very well this year, or in the last year due to COVID. They did announce that they're going to be rolling out one movie a week in 2021. So, I think that Netflix may surprise. Now, I don't know if it's going to go up or down, but I think if you're trading price, buying down here and it pushes up, definitely buying at support down in here. So I'm looking at a potential day trade tomorrow on Netflix if we can get some momentum to the upside. But then again, I mean, a lot of things could happen. We have the inauguration, earnings coming up. I mean, we'll see what investors want to do, and also, potential stimulus on the table. So if you watch this video to the end, watch to the end, let me know below what you're trading, what you think. And as always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.